Okay, now we look at how excess of loss can be used together with proportional reinsurance. Okay, let's say this is an example taken from the slide. A risk with a sum insured of 10 million. And the insurer has a proportional reinsurance program of surplus for 5 lines and incurred loss of 7 million. So let's allocate the sum insured first based on the proportional reinsurance arrangement. Let's say insurer has decided that they will retain per risk up to 500,000, meaning that 5 line equal to 5 times 500,000, which is 2.5 million. So we know that surplus has a capacity of 2.5 million. So for this risk, 10 million ringgit will be divided into insurer retention of 500,000, and then the balance is ceded to surplus treaty for maximum 2.5 million, and there is still a balance of 7 million which goes to facultative. So you can see here that insurer will arrange their non-proportional treaty based on their net retention of 500,000. So that will translate into a non-proportional treaty cover of 300,000 in excess of 200,000. So if you total up together the amount of cover and the amount of deductible, that will equal to the retention of the insurer under the proportional reinsurance. So meaning that out of this 500,000, insurer is willing to retain only up to 200,000 after recovery from non-proportional reinsurer. So if there is a loss of 350,000, if you calculate the percentage, surplus will pay 1750 and facultative will pay 4.9 million. And this net loss retention is paid by the non-proportional treaty, meaning that out of this 350,000, insurer will retain 200,000 based on the deductible, and the balance of 150 is covered by the non-proportional reinsurer. Okay, so let's look at other examples that I have here. Okay, let's say there is a non-proportional cover of 450,000 cover in excess of 50,000. So you know that this 50,000 is the deductible and this 450,000 is the maximum cover. So let's say we have 5 risks with each of these risks with their loss retention. So let's say for risk number 1, loss or incurred loss is 30,000 ringgit. Is this paid by the reinsurer? Deductible is 30,000 ringgit. Recovery from non-proportional reinsurer is 0. Why it is 0? Because 30,000 ringgit is less than 50,000 ringgit. It must be more than 50,000 ringgit, then only they're going to be recovery from the reinsurer. Okay, for risk number 2, with a loss retention of 140,000, after deduction of deductible 50,000, there is a balance of 90,000, and this 90,000 is recovered from the reinsurer because it is within the cover of 450,000. In other words, 90,000 is not more than 450,000. For risk number 3, with an incurred loss of 450,000, after deduction of deductible of 50,000, there is a balance of 400,000. And this 400,000 is recovered from the reinsurer because it is 400,000 is less than the maximum cover of 450,000. Okay, now we move to risk number 4. With an incurred loss of 750,000, deduct deductible of 50,000, there is a balance of 700,000. So how much is recovered from the reinsurer? In this situation, we know that 700,000 is more than 450,000. So insurer is not able to claim 700,000, but only up to 450,000. So 750 divide by 50,000 divide by 450,000. So 250,000, this amount is called unplanned loss retention. Okay? Unplanned loss retention. Because insurer cannot predict there is a shortage of 250,000 not covered by the reinsurer. So we call it unplanned loss retention. Okay, let's move to risk number 5. Incurred loss of 1.2 million. After deduction of 50,000, how much is left? So there is a balance of 1.150 million. So can the insurer recover this amount from the reinsurer? The answer is cannot, because insurer can only claim up to 450,000. So non-proportional recovery for risk number 5 is 450,000. Okay, so can you please calculate how much is the unplanned loss retention for risk number 5? So you can see that for risk number 4 and risk number 5, there is not enough cover to protect incurred loss for risk number 4 and risk number 5. And these shortages, we call it unplanned loss retention. So there are two cases of unplanned loss retention for risk number 4 and risk number 5. And how to solve this problem? To solve the problem of unplanned loss retention, the insurer will normally arrange their non-proportional cover based on multiple layers, meaning that there are 3 layers which cover the same risk. Let's say we have the first layer with a cover of 450,000 in excess of 50,000, and then insurer arrange another layer on top of that with a maximum cover of 1 million in excess of 500,000, and a third layer with a maximum of 2 million in excess of 1.5 million. If you look at the deductible for layer 2, it is actually the sum of cover under layer 1 and deductible under layer 1. Okay. The deductible under layer 3 is actually the sum or the total of cover under layer 2 and deductible under layer 2. Okay, let's say we have risk 4, 5, 6, with each has its own incurred loss. Okay, let's say for risk number 4, with a loss of 750 or 750,000 deductible, we take deductible for the first layer, we put it here, 50,000. So how much will be the recovery under the first layer? 750,000 minus deductible 50,000, you will get 700,000. Can this 700,000 recovered from the first layer? The answer is cannot, because the first layer will only cover up to 450,000. So what happened to the balance? So how much balance left? So we have 750 minus 50,000 minus recovery in the first layer. That is a balance of 250,000. So 250,000 is within the cover under the second layer, because second layer will cover up to 1 million. So the balance of 250,000 goes to the second layer, and third layer will pay 0. You don't have to pay anything. Okay, let's move to risk number 5. Incurred loss 1.2 million, deductible as usual 50,000. Okay, how much is paid by the first layer? Definitely, first layer will only pay up to 450,000. So what happened to the balance? Take the loss retention minus deductible minus first layer recovery. So there is a balance of 700,000, and this is within the cover of the second layer. So we know that second layer will pay 700,000 because 700,000 is not more than 1 million. So they're going to be 0 recovery from the third layer because third layer is not involved in claim for risk number 4. For risk number 5. Okay, risk number 6, if a incurred loss of 2.2 million, deductible of 50,000, first layer will only pay up to 450,000. So how much is the balance? Let's see. Loss minus deductible minus first layer recovery. So the balance for the second layer to pay is 1.7 million. Is this the amount paid by the second layer? Is this 1.7 million paid by the second layer? We know that the second layer has only maximum of 1 million, meaning that second layer will only pay up to 1 million. So there is a balance of So the balance of 700,000 is recovered from the third layer because the third layer has a maximum cover of 2 million. So this 700,000 is within the cover of the third layer.